Alright, head and do another one of these customs today. The custom from the Sunny Meadows video. Said something about doing Bleasdale. But I think I'm just gonna settle for... let's do Tanglewood. Make up for our loss with a nice easy one.
We've arrived. Check the equipment and get set up before investigating. There have been new reports of a cursed object nearby. This must be the reason that the ghost was summoned here. Take a look. You may be able to use it to your advantage.
Okay. So, plan this time. Sanity management. I've got my headlight. This should be no problem for the small Tanglewood house. I'm gonna take my EMF that's hopefully not bugged out. My house has thin walls. EMF reader. I'm gonna take the thermo again. And a camera. Oh, this is so nice. Okay, yet another sunny day. Okay. Well, the breaker starts on, so we're not gonna drain our sanity like that. Go through, checking all the rooms. What I love about this, you know, game mode is it feels like classic Phas. It actually feels like classic Phas because, well, the thermometer is good nowadays again because if the breaker's on, the temperatures in each room start to rise, which means that when you get to the room that the ghost is likely in, it's already going to be, you know, chilly in there. It's going to be the coldest room in the house. So, like, if you remember any classic Phas players who were, see, this is the ghost room. Yep. So any classic Phas players who are watching, oh, it's a roamer, will know that in classic Phas, which I'm referring to the beta build, the build that we all started playing back in the day, like back in 2020, that build, you used to be able to walk around with the thermometer and you'd be able to, like, say, okay, this is the ghost room. Even if it wasn't, and if it was freezing breath back then, you'd just tell. You'd just be able to tell because you would have freezing breath. But they changed that. But this feels like classic Phas again. You can walk in with the thermometer, find the ghost room, you know, it doesn't roam, it doesn't wander. You can create, you can do, you know, you can do a well-off investigation with this game mode. And yes, you know, you die sometimes. I died the last video I recorded. But in classic Phas, you would die sometimes. It wasn't like, oh no, it's hunting. Oh my gosh, I can't. You know, I don't have any. I don't have any crucies. I don't have any of this. Like, yeah, the crucifix was there, but I don't know if I'm explaining what I want to explain quite right, or well enough to my ability. You didn't die as much in Classic Phas because the hunts were easier to avoid. Not necessarily avoid, they were easier to hide from because you knew in Classic Phas if you got a... Oh, there's an orb. I didn't see that before. If you got a hunt, it would flash your flashlight. And that's it. You knew it was hunting when it was flash, 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 flash. Any other time it wouldn't flash, and if the ghost appeared, it was a ghost event. I miss that, honestly, but I know they're not going to bring that back. I'm going to get the second dots projector in there because I feel like that's projecting too far to the other side of the room. But yeah, Classic Phas was just something different. You would have to be there to experience it to really know what people are talking about. And some people, if they're watching this, most likely do know what I'm talking about, but it just felt different. It felt different. You know, this game is a lot different than it was in its, prior days. See, I'm going to start out by putting it in the room. I'm going to put another dot on the other side of the room. I'm going to place my... yeah. I'm going to place this right here, a little bit closer. Oh my gosh. Hella dots. The dots projector wasn't even in the game. I'm not saying I don't like the dots projector, but it wasn't even in the game. Like, how crazy is that? Back then. It's just nuts to think about how far it's came. And I'm not saying I don't like the current Phasmophobia, or like there's there's pros and cons to both builds of the game. I think the hunt mechanics were a lot better in the previous one because it didn't matter how skilled you were at the game, you could tell when it was a hunt. And I kind of miss that because, for instance, there was a lot of like elderly, not necessarily elderly, I don't want to say elderly, but there were some older players in the community back then who were kind of bummed out that they changed the hunt mechanics so much because Phas, I don't think, never really had a target audience. It just kind of was like, whoever wants to play it, play it. I don't know that for a fact. They could have had a target audience at one point, but I think from my best interpretation of it, it was intended to be played and enjoyed by like all ages. Well, maybe all ages, like 13 plus or something, because obviously you're not gonna have like 6-year-olds playing this game. They're probably gonna get freaked the hell out. Okay, that's cool. That's an EMF 3. Oh, we got ghost rating. I didn't even notice that. So, my guess is going to try to hunt from here, but it could come from the basement, or the garage. Camera. Okay. Oh, UV light. I got it. Alright. Shutting you off for a bit. Getting a little nuts in there. Where are you? Are you here? Are you friendly? Give me a sign. Where are you? Are you here? Are you friendly? Where are you? Where are you?
From behind. Delete.
It was like, from behind. Leave. Oh, that's nuts. Okay, that's not a hunt, but it did turn the breaker off at one point. That is a EMF level 2. UV, please? UV? Okay. It didn't leave any fingerprints. It's in the basement. Turn that on. So it's not a djinn. I know that much. Yeah, like, I was just thinking about it, but like, yeah, the hunts were a little less interesting in original Phas. But they were accessible to everyone, right? Like, you didn't have to be a rocket scientist to know, oh, something's happening, I better hide. You know, I'm not saying it should be easier to run from the ghost, but I think they need to do something to get it more along the lines of the way it was in the past, where you can tell, like, very easily that, you know, this is a hunt. You know, I don't know. I just feel bad for, you know, people like me who are very casual. But that's why, like, I was like, you know, I'm making my own custom game mode. And this is it. And this feels like classic Phas to me. Hands down, does. I haven't played this game like this in a good while. I'm taking sanity pills. In a good while. Because I was so annoyed with how they, you know, messed up the hunt mechanics back then. And I didn't play for about maybe a year. And then I was like, alright, maybe I'll check it out again. You know, I still didn't... Close the door. I still didn't care too much, you know, for it until recently, when I was like, you know, let me try it out. Let me give it the fair college go. And I gave it the college go, and I think it's been working out pretty well for me. And the custom difficulty, I made that primarily so that I could try and get like a classic Phas experience. And now there are some things I could change, but I think it's pretty good. The way that it is, I like it. I'm gonna get the salt in there. I'm having a hard time focusing on talking and doing this at the same time. So I'm gonna put that there. Let's see here. Stirred salt? Wait, what am I doing? Fuck. Okay, so I don't think we're getting UV. I don't think that's an evidence. Which means it's not a mimic, which is a good thing. So no mimic, which means that's a genuine orb. Which means that... Well, let's see. Overview, Carla, it could be a Dayan. It's not ultraviolet. It could be dodge projector, but we didn't see anything. Likely not. Oh, ghost writing. It's a bear. What the hell? Well, that was a mare. That was nice. I think I'm gonna wrap this one up here. I had a buddy message me on Steam there. Since we know it's a mare, we'll get some good money from this. This will be a good idea to see how much we can actually get with just 2 photos, a video, and, you know, none of the objectives complete. I reckon about 700, 800. Oh, I was wrong. It was 1200. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Bye.